it.
Okay, maybe let.
And he showed us the answer, so it's like useless now. I'm like, I could.
Okay, so what I have for you, right? What I would like for you guys to do. What do you say?
He said bye.
Oh, okay.
The door goes. Before he opens the door, he was leaving the window.
I would like you to have your pink packet and the sample body paragraph, please. Okay, so the objective today is to understand how to write the body paragraph, right? That is what we're doing. So the first thing I would like to do is I want you to go to the pink packet. I'm going to have you handwrite a few extra notes on your pink packet so that we are all on the same page, okay? So yesterday you guys wrote your body paragraph. I just scanned it really quickly, but I saw that everybody had it in MLA format. They had the paragraph indented. Thank you. Hold on. Let me. All right, so I have this recorded for Nathan, right?
If I can say something real quick.
Is it on topic?
Yes, sort of. I remember how we did in the beginning of the year, since I was in here for first semester, we did the pre-set of the title thing. I mean the essays.
A what?
The the things with the English that we made.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
Perfect. Awesome.
Every time I do, I just change the date.
Absolutely.
Every time I make it, I just change the date, so I just have to change one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do that when I'm making the copy.
Perfect. Okay, you guys ready? All right, so for the body paragraph, some of this is going to sound very familiar to you because guess what? You already know how to do some of this. So the very first thing I'd like you to do is right here where it says body paragraph is I want you to write down a couple of transitional phrases, or actually write down one that you like. You don't have to write down all three, just write down one. But the body paragraph is going to start with a transitional phrase. And since it's the first body paragraph, you want to start with something that implies that you're starting. So to begin, to start, first of all, pick one, write it down. Okay? The next thing I want you to do is I want you to put a little bracket right here. Okay, see that right there? And I want you to write one sentence. I kind of have it mixed up in that little thing, but one sentence. It's because this together, A and B, forms the first sentence. Okay? And that is your transitional phrase along with your topic sentence that explains the main point. Now, the main point of your paragraph is the one character trait you're either writing for or against him being a hero, right? And so what you're going to do right here is just write introduce character trait. Okay? Is he intelligent? Does he lack intelligence? Is he impulsive? Is he brave? Is he whatever you want, whatever your thesis statement had, right? So your paragraph is going to introduce that one character trait first. Okay? All right. Okay, so for the next part is the meat and potatoes of your paragraph. This is all of the reasons that defend your topic. You're arguing. This is argumentative paper. You're very good at arguing because you're teenagers, okay? And so remember that when you're writing stuff out, you're simply defending your claim. You're not just analyzing what he did. You're defending that he's a hero. So you have to use strong word choice, and you kind of have to be persuasive in a way, right? And so C just is all of your support, all of your examples, anything that proves your point. Now, letter D is interesting, okay? Letter D says at least two quotations that provide textual support. First of all, I have a grammar error in here, so if you want, take your pencil and just go like this on this word right here, support, because I didn't proofread. I apologize. Apparently I messed up. So just, cover up that first word after the word that. Okay, cool. Now what I want you to do, and I'm going to talk to you about it here in a minute, but I want you to circle this right here where it says two quotations. I want you to circle that. And I also want you to write out this. One quote, comma, one paraphrase. Try to write it small. Make sure it's along this line right here. I'm going to give you a second to write that. Theodore, are you writing this? Close your Chromebook, okay? Because I don't want you distracted. Because I don't want to have to re-explain it, okay? Okay.
Is that paraphrase?
Paraphrase. Yeah, my handwriting's not the greatest, but paraphrase. Okay, so have you ever shared with somebody something somebody else said?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, right? You're just communicating, right? Did you quote that person exactly? Did you tell, and I quote, my mother said, and I quote, after you're done cleaning your room, you may go out and play. No.
Depends on what you're taught.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're taught.
But can you remember exactly what somebody says?
No.
If it's short, yeah, but if it's really long and wordy, no.
If it was like directions, what?
Yeah, you could probably say it in your own way, though, right? If you understand the directions. Okay, so what this is, a paraphrase, is you just saying something in your own way without getting the exact words from the text. And so what I want to offer you guys is two options for your body paragraphs. You can either A, provide two quotations to back up your information. So in To Kill a Mockingbird, how many quotations did you have in each body paragraph? One. Now you're required two. Okay, so your option is you can provide two quotes from the story to back up what you're saying, or you can do one quote and one paraphrase. A paraphrase is just you saying it in your own way, but you still have to tell me where you found the information, okay? So what is different about a paraphrase is you're not putting quotation marks around it, because you only do that when you're using exact words from the text. Okay? What they have in common is they both have a citation at the end, Homer and then the line number, right? Right? But what's different is the paraphrase doesn't use quotation marks because it's not exact words. I'm going to show you an example. But I'm going to tell you right now, this option right here is the easier one of the two, and I'll explain to you in a minute, and then you'll get to decide the route you want to go, okay? Right here where it says explain significance, this is you defending yourself, and I will give you an example too on how you defend your quote, because remember, this is argumentative. When you guys wrote your To Kill a Mockingbird, you were not writing an argumentative paper. You were writing a literary analysis. Okay, you are analyzing the literature. You're arguing now. This is different. This means that another word that's like arguing is the word persuading. You're persuading. You want to convince me, by the time I'm done reading your paper, to think just like you. All right? Are you good at persuading your friends? Are you good at persuading your parents? Like you want to talk them into something like, Mom, I really deserve $20 because I emptied the dishwasher every day after school, and you never asked me to. I did it. And I took the trash out. I walked the dog 3 times a day, and I kept a clean room. I think I deserve $20. You guys are good. You guys are good at arguing things. When you really want something, you let your parents know, or whoever it is that you live with, that you want something, right? That's all you're doing here. You're arguing your point. So when you're writing your essay, imagine me behind you going, prove it. Okay, don't just tell me, prove it. How does that make him a hero? How does that not make him a hero? Okay? And then the very last sentence is just your closing sentence. It will have a closing transitional phrase. It will also have a concluding thought. All right? It's a wrap-up sentence. Here are some examples. In a nutshell, is kind of a little informal. So I'm going to draw a line through that. But all in all, in essence, undeniably, those are 3. Undeniably is the one you'll see in my sample body paragraph. That's why I put it down. But that's you just wrapping up that topic. Okay? So those are 3 options for you for today's lesson. How many sentences does your body paragraph need to be?
8.
8 to 12. I'm recording, remember? Okay, so something I want to tell you is this. You can write 8 sentences. You've already done it before. You did it with To Kill a Mockingbird, right? But actually, you're not really writing 8 sentences because you have your quotation in there. That's one sentence that's been written for you, right? It's the textual support. If you choose this route, then that's 6 sentences that you have to write instead of 8 because you have 2 quotes, okay? If you choose this route, you might have more than 8 sentences because paraphrase is you retelling the story in your own words, okay? So I think you'll be fine making this sentence requirement, but I do want to tell you, do not go above 12 sentences. More is not always better. You're just opening yourself up to getting marked down for having grammar errors or being too wordy. So don't try to get beyond 12 sentences. Say what you need to say. Use powerful word choice so you're not, taking me on a journey and being super wordy, okay? All right, you guys ready to look at the sample now? Okay, you got your 2 highlighters? All right, let's do this. Do I even have an extra example? Oh, there they are. Okay, here we go. You ready? You got 2 highlighters? The first thing I want you to do is take a peek at the very top of the example. Right here is the thesis statement from the previous example I gave you, right? Take your highlighter, the lighter colored one, and highlight it. This is our thesis statement from the previous student sample that I gave you, okay? It says, given this information, Odysseus illustrates a true hero, specifically in his characteristics of his intelligence, self-determination, and leadership. All right, after you're done highlighting that, grab your pencil. Try to stay with me so that we're on track. Tegan, hold your paper so you can highlight fast, and then grab your pencil. What are the 3 topics for my essay?
Leadership, self-determination, and intelligence.
All right, let's do it in order. What's my first body paragraph going to be about? Yeah, so I'm going to write a number 1 there. That's all my paragraph's going to be about. It's not going to talk about determination or leadership. It's just going to talk about intelligence. Okay? I'm going to put a number 2 here because that means that's body paragraph 2, and I'm going to put 3 for body paragraph 3. Okay. Now, the next thing I want you to do is take your highlighter, okay, your different colored highlighter, whatever color that may be. I'm going to grab one. Grab orange. And let's start by looking for transitional phrases and highlighting them. There's at least 3 transitional phrases that we need to highlight. Theodore, give me 1 transitional phrase we need to highlight.
First of all.
Yeah, good. All right, can you guys find another transitional phrase? Undeniably, right here, is also a transitional phrase down there, the very bottom. See any other ones? Yeah, it is a transitional phrase. Good. There's another one in there. In an effort to outsmart Polyphemus, that is a dependent clause, so it's also a transitional phrase. Remember when you guys did the Awubis exercise where you had a long dependent clause and a comma? That's what these are right here. In addition to creating a plan, right? And then I see furthermore. Do you remember Awubis? One of them was when. So like when Polyphemus cries out in pain, comma. So that's considered a transitional phrase. These dependent clauses are. So if you wanted to, you can even highlight that. Okay. So we have different levels of transitional phrases. We have really complex ones that we learned with our Awubis exercise, and then we have basic ones. Furthermore, first of all, right? Okay, now we got our transitional phrases highlighted. Go ahead and put that highlighter up. Grab your pencil. And we're going to read this. Okay, here we go. You ready? First of all, Odysseus displays his incredible intelligence and his ability to overcome obstacles in more than one instance throughout his journey. In addition to creating a plan to give the Trojans a wooden horse disguised as a trap, he also creates a plan to escape the cave of the Cyclops. In an effort to outsmart Polyphemus, Odysseus offers the giant wine in order to make him vulnerable. Once asleep, he leads his men to bravely stab the Cyclops, which impairs his vision and increases their chances of escaping the cave undetected. Furthermore, Odysseus shows his superior intelligence by giving himself a fake name that later becomes helpful in driving away other potential helpful Cyclops. When Polyphemus cries out in pain, he says, "Nobody's tricked me." If Odysseus had not used his cunning intelligence, he and his crew could have potentially been forever trapped in the cave, all killed or attacked by other Cyclops in their attempt at freeing themselves from Polyphemus's hands. Undeniably, Odysseus illustrates cunning intelligence that the average warrior during this time did not possess. All right, we've got our argumentative paper here. So the first thing I want to do is let's scan this to number out some of the examples of intelligence so far. What do we have that shows intelligence, some ideas?
Winding the Cyclops.
Let's go in order. All right, let's start from top to bottom.
The wooden horse.
Yeah. Is that what you said, Theodore? I didn't hear you.
I said blind the Cyclops.
Okay, wooden horse would be number 1, so let's go ahead and put a number 1 there. All right, let's keep going in order. What's another thing that shows his intelligence?
Gives the Cyclops more.
Well, there's one in between there.
He creates a plan of an escape.
Yep. That's another way he shows intelligence. Then Brandon says gives him wine, so I'm going to put 3. I'm just numbering all the things that prove that he's smart. Once he's asleep, he leads his men to bravely stab the Cyclops, which impairs his vision and increases their chances of escape in the cave. This kind of talks about him leading that plan. It really doesn't focus on him coming up with a plan, but it still supports like what he did there. So you could argue that this more or less focuses on bravery or leadership, but it still kind of provides that information needed, right? All right, after furthermore, he shows himself superior intelligently by doing what? Giving himself what? Yeah. All right. So that's 4 reasons. You only need 3. All right. You had 3 inside your pink boxes, right? And that is what is going on here. 3 reasons. Now, let's look at this section right here. This is the example of the paraphrase. I did not take any lines directly from the book. I just said them in my own way. So right here, I want you to make a little bracket, and we're going to label it paraphrase. Okay? Notice how there's no quotes here. There's no anything from the story. It's just me telling you examples in my own words, okay? The only difference is this. When I have my citation, I just have to cite a range of lines. Notice I have 13 lines here because I cited this part right here, and it covered about 13 lines. So I'm going to go ahead and put citation. And remember, it's not page number, it's line number. Where does my period go?
After.
Yeah, after. So I'm just drawing a little arrow to kind of remind myself that that is where it is. Theodore, you good?
Yeah.
All right. I'm seeing a lot of looking at the computer, so I just want to make sure you're good. Okay. Then this next section goes into another reason, and then this particular one I used a direct quote, right? Do you guys remember what this is called? He says.
First person? No, third person.
It is third person, but do you guys remember what that's called that you put right before a quote? Starts with an S. Signal phrase. So go ahead and write signal phrase. Go ahead and label that. So when you do a quote, you absolutely have to have a signal phrase in front of your quote. So you have to tell me who's saying it or who's saying, whatever. Tell me who says it, and then right after the signal phrase, put that comma to separate the quote. Notice how I have quotation marks here and quotation marks here. That those 3 dots are to indicate that this line still continues, but I don't need it. So you can use an ellipses in the beginning, middle, and end, depending on how you want to use that quote, right? We've already practiced this before, but just as a reminder. And then I have my citation. This one only encompasses 1 line, but if it encompassed more, then I would put a little dash and put the next line just like that. And then boom, period. Okay? All right, this last part right here is my argument. This is the part that I said you guys are very good at. I'm pointing out what could have happened if he hadn't had this intelligence to get them out. I'm pointing out this, all right? And how I do that is by starting my sentence with if. You guys want to box out the word if and do this too. Well, if you weren't in the way, I wouldn't have tripped. If you would have made dinner, I wouldn't have blank. I don't know. Right? So if you have an if statement in here and you point out that information or that opposing thought, that's your argument. Okay? So here it is. If Odysseus had not used his cunning intelligence, he and his crew could have potentially been forever trapped in the cave, all killed or attacked by other Cyclops in their attempt at freeing themselves. This is long and has a lot of words. Just a reminder, this is a final draft. This is me when I was typing it yesterday. It didn't begin like any of this. This was me after editing it several times. So is your first paragraph going to be like this pristine? No. It's a rough draft. It's okay. We can fix the word choice later. Just get your basic ideas out there. You can always expand on it later.
It has to be perfect.
Not for a rough draft. All right, this last sentence right here is your closing sentence. It's your conclusion sentence, right? So let's go ahead and label that. And you need a closing transitional phrase. I have undeniably. We already took some notes in the pink packet. You can do all in all, to end, to sum up, whatever you want. I don't care. But this sentence right here mirrors the first sentence, the topic. Okay, so if you want to write that down, you can. And that is basically what you're doing. Don't overthink it because you are just arguing something. Try not to overthink it. If your writing takes you on a bit of a journey because you're like, ooh, I want to explore this, I want to talk about this, I want to add it, it's not on my pink packet, but it goes with this, go with it. Do that. Your pink packet is just a roadmap. You might have to take a little detour to pull in some other information. You might have to look at the actual story. You might have to go and look at the textual support that we have in Google Classroom, okay? And that's basically it.